Hey everybody, welcome to Weight Loss for Women Over 40. Today we're talking about unlearning skinny. In this episode, we're going to talk about what the real reason is that you can't lose weight, and it has nothing to do with food and everything to do about a belief or beliefs, plural, that you adopted before puberty. So again, welcome to Weight Loss for Women Over 40, where we ditch diets, build badass mindsets, and come home to our bodies. I'm Nikki T, and I have been in this business for over 23 years. I am a health coach, behavioral coach, personal trainer, physical therapist assistant, formerly, and a former professional ballet dancer. So I have a lot of experience, not just personally. I've trained for 2 fitness contests. Long story why I didn't hit the stage. That's for another episode. But yeah, I've been in this for a while and I've done all the things. I've seen all the things. I've worked with thousands of clients on every capacity, from boot camps to private coaching to group coaching. So you are in good hands over here. And today we are going to dive in deep into old programming that's been running very quietly. It's been running the show behind the scenes, right? So it's almost like it's the puppet master, and you're kind of operating from this space of unknowing, right? So let's talk about unlearning skinny. So when we come into this world, we are set up with a bunch of beliefs. And these beliefs are ingrained in us and they're natural. Like if you've ever watched babies, they naturally bring their hands to their face because they want to eat food and that's how they bring it in closer. They naturally know how to squat to pick up things. Like there's a lot of natural things that happen when we're babies. We naturally know when we're hungry. We naturally know when to stop eating. We know when we touch things that are hot, it sends a primitive signal of like, don't touch that again, right? So we're brought into this world with a bunch of beliefs. Now, what happens is we interact with other human beings, right? Your parents, your guardians, whoever it was around you at the time, your brothers, sisters, teachers, coaches, everybody. So as you grew up in this world, you were kind of conditioned based on their beliefs and what you decided to subscribe to. And what happens is at a young age, you start building these belief systems. And when you do that, sometimes these belief systems are not built on actual sturdy things. So, for instance, if someone says to you, "Oh my gosh, you're so big as a child," you take that in and you make it as like a young kid. If you're 5 and somebody says that to you, you take that in and you make it mean something about yourself. You take it very personally. Why are they critiquing me? What's wrong with me, right? We internalize it. And as we go through, you build up these subconscious beliefs. And some of them serve you and some of them don't. When you're a child, you are like a sponge. You are constantly pulling in information and deciding, is this going to kill me? Is this going to keep me alive? That's pretty much the gist in the beginning. But as you start to get older and you start to develop your prefrontal cortex, which is what I like to call a sophisticated brain, that is where all your dreams and aspirations really come to life. But you have this subconscious belief, your primitive brain kicking in, and it's like this background hum. And it's like you're running around now as an adult making decisions, but a lot of us are making decisions based on that 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, whatever conditioning and subconscious beliefs that you created at a younger age. So some of these sneaky beliefs that kind of creep in could be that I have to be thin in order to be loved. So if you came from a family that really talked bad about people that are overweight, or you had someone in your life that was overweight and didn't feel loved and didn't feel enough, then that is going to come through. And it's also going to, you took that in as a kid, right? Because again, you're around these people, these adults who you think know better. And they are doing the best they can. So we're not blaming anyone, but understand that a lot of your belief systems that you built up right now and you're making decisions from come from when you were a little kid. Another thing is my worth as a human is equated to my weight. Holy cow, this is such a big one. A lot of women, use that scale to judge whether they are good enough. When you step on that scale, and you've heard me say it again if you've followed me for any length of time, the scale is simply the gravitational pull of your body on this planet. And it's on a piece of plastic and metal. It has nothing to do with your self-worth. It has nothing to do with you being a valuable human being on this planet. But when you grow up in an environment that's like, no, thin or skinny or lean equals better than, you drag that with you. You bring that into your adult life. Especially, again, we're not blaming parents, but especially whoever you grew up with had problems, had issues, for lack of a better word, of dealing with their self-worth and them thinking they're not good enough because they're 200 pounds overweight or because they're even 5 pounds overweight, right? It doesn't matter the pounds, it's what's going on in your brain. That little version of you pulled that in and was like, ooh, being overweight equals not worthy, equals I'm not valuable. I don't mean anything, right? And we're just using that as one premise. It could be many different things, right? It could be, I don't work out, so I'm lazy. There's so many different things that are running through our brain, and we're building these belief systems. And the irony is a lot of times you can't see it. I know from my own experience, not so much, well, some of it in weight, but some of it in other areas of my life. I thought I was like rocking it. I had it all together. And I realized that I was operating from a bunch of beliefs that were not serving me. It was making me make decisions that were not in my best interest. If you want to hear more about that, I will be launching my other Maven Heart again. If you've been following me for any time, Maven Heart got shelved for a little bit. It's another business that I have, but I will be bringing that out. So make sure you stay tuned here, and also you can follow me on social media, and I'll let you know when that comes out. But that's going to be more. I'll just leave it at that. It's going to be more beliefs and things like that, and you'll hear a lot of stories from my personal life and how I overcame them. So dovetail there. All right. So these belief systems that you adopted as a kid, they really impact your body. They impact how you look at your body. They impact how you interact with other people. They impact your metabolism, right? How many of you say, oh, I have a really slow metabolism? That is a limiting belief. How do you know you have a slow metabolism? And if you tell me because you're overweight, I call BS on you. That's not necessarily true. Um, Another belief is that you're an emotional eater, or you have a lot of emotion around eating, around food. One of my biggest things that I hear clients, and it's sneaky because they're like, I don't like emotionally eat when I'm sad or when I'm upset or anything like that. I emotionally eat. Well, they don't even say emotionally eat. They say, I like to continue eating because it tastes good, right? That's actually emotionally eating. If you are stopping when your body is fueled and you are continuing to eat, even though your body's like, no, I'm good, you are eating for an emotional response. So if you think the food tastes good and you just want to keep eating, but yet your body's like, no, I'm good, you are looking for either that dopamine hit, you're looking for more happiness, you're looking to amp that feeling up while you're eating the food. So there's just a little side note on that. So what we want to do with all these subliminal, subconscious beliefs that we have running around in our brain is we want to pull them out. So I want you to imagine like this messy, wiry thing. And we want to pull out the things that are getting in the way, almost like if you had a garden and there were weeds in the garden. And I hate kind of using this because those limiting beliefs aren't exactly weeds. They're just because it makes it sound like they're just like horrible thoughts, right? It's just a thought that you have that is not getting you to the things that you want, right? So if we can get neutral about our thoughts, that's super helpful. But I will use the garden analogy. So if you have a garden and there are weeds and there are flowers, right? The flowers or fruit, whatever you want to think of, fruit, vegetables, if they are producing a fruit that you like, we want to keep them. If they are producing weeds or they're dead plants, we want to take them out, we want to look at them, and then we want to either get rid of them, recompost them, do something with them, okay? So when you're looking at your thoughts, and this is where I think coaching comes in and is so impactful because, again, you can't see a lot of times what's running through your brain, what these subconscious thoughts are, because they sound like white noise to you. And if you are surrounded by people who think the same way you think, you are definitely not going to see it. So when you're looking at your thoughts, getting to a neutral space and looking at those thoughts and going, ooh, okay, is this serving me? Is this getting me the results that I want? Or is it keeping me stuck? And again, sometimes that can be hard to distinguish. But if you have decided, no, it's keeping me stuck, then we want to kind of unearth it a little bit. We want to dive deep into like, okay, so why are you thinking that thoughts? Where did it stem from? What can you remember a time in your childhood when you're like, yes, that's when I noticed the first time I thought XYZ? So again, I use this example a lot, but I remember in ballet class being told that my thighs were too big. And I was older. I think I was like a teenager. I feel like I was like 14, 15. And of course, that's when the time when your body starts changing and things, are happening with getting your womanly stuff going on, right? But for me, that was really impactful. It really like made me believe that I was not good enough, that not just good enough as a person, but not good enough as a ballet dancer. Like I shouldn't have these thighs that I have. And again, I was a jumper and a turner. I loved nothing but to compete with the guys as they were going across the floor in Grand leg rows. If you know what that is, it's just jumping across the floor. But I would hang in the air with them. I had great, what they call ballon. I could hang in the air and it was so much fun. It was like flying to me. But I didn't equate stronger, bigger thighs equals that's why I can stay in the air so long, right? I just took it as, oh my gosh, I have to do something about these thighs or else I'm never going to be a professional ballet dancer, which was bull malarkey because I did go on to become a professional ballet dancer. But things like this, it's you want to kind of hone in on what it is where did you hear it first? And why are you dragging it with you your entire life? For me, if that happened when I was 14, maybe 15, I have drug that thought that my thighs are too big with me until probably, gosh, I don't even know. I feel like there's still a part of me that still has it, but I recognize it and it doesn't bother me as much. But I would say mid 40s. I mean, we're talking a long time there to drag that really, I hate to say dumb because none of our thoughts are dumb, but to drag that thought that I'm not good enough because my thighs are big. I mean, think about that. So we want to go and kind of unearth that thought. We want to kind of look at it and go, okay, so what's going on there, right? You can absolutely journal about this. You can meditate on it, all kinds of things that you can do to kind of really dive in and understand what's going on. So keep in mind as these thoughts come in, the more neutral you can be about your thoughts, the better. But just understand that you are not failing, right? You are just identifying as this person that you created when you were little. And it's just being really loyal to a belief system that doesn't serve you anymore. It's a belief system that 5-year-old of you created. Could you imagine? I want you to really imagine this. Say you are, whether you're CEO of a business or you're driving the car, or you're taking care of your kids. Now, I want you to imagine yourself as a 5-year-old doing all the quote unquote adult things that you do, managing the business, taking care of the kids, cooking dinner. 5-year-old you would even go back a little further. 3-year-old you, because that's probably when most of the time your belief systems kind of really impacted you. Imagine 3-year-old you making all your decisions for you, present day, because that's what's happening a lot of times. That's what's going on in our brain. And 3-year-old you has, again, built these belief systems that they're really loyal to. They're really like, no, this is the way it needs to be because this is what I believe. But if it's not serving you in areas, just need to tweak it a little bit. So my suggestion for you today is to take 5 to 10 minutes today and write down your thoughts. Write down, if my body could talk, it would say XYZ to me, and see what beliefs start popping up. And I'd love for you to come visit me on any of my social media platforms, Instagram. Mostly I'm at Weight Loss for Women over 40 at the end on Instagram, on TikTok. But you can also visit me on Facebook at Nicole Ternay. So I went back to my maiden name. But it's NicoleTernay. You can follow me there as well. And I would love for you to share your thoughts with me. Just DM me, share your thoughts with me about this podcast. I would love to hear what you uncovered as you sat down and talked to your body, as you sat down and kind of looked at those belief systems that you built up as a child and where they're inhibiting you and what's going on for you. So that is all for today. I want to let you know too that I am opening up some private coaching spots with next week. If you want more information about that, get on my email list ASAP. You can go to weightlossforwomen over40.net/book, BOOK. Grab my 5 reasons why you can't lose weight over 40 ebook. That will not only give you some valuable information, but you'll also get on my email list and you will know exactly what is going on and how to work with me if you're ready to take that step. All right. That is all for me today. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for continuing to listen to this podcast and sharing it with your friends. And I hope to connect with you on my other social medias and see you in my inbox. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.